Real people, real confessions, the stories you weren't supposed to hear. Welcome to Beyond Reddit Stories. I wasn't even snooping. I didn't go through her phone, didn't stalk her social media, didn't set up some elaborate trap to catch her. It was just one of those quiet Tuesday nights. We were both sitting on the couch, half watching some crime documentary on Netflix, half scrolling through our phones. She had her blanket pulled up to her chin, legs tucked under her, the soft glow of the TV flickering across her face. Everything looked normal. Everything felt normal. And then I saw it. Not on her phone, on mine. I'd been playing around with my own apps, switching between emails and mindless games. When a notification popped up from a friend, it was a screenshot, no message attached, just an image. And in that image was her. Her face, her smile, the same blue sweater she was wearing in our holiday photo. Underneath her name, age, and a few lines of flirty text I'd never seen before. It took me a second to process what I was looking at. The background was unmistakably from Tinder. The same color scheme, the same layout, my girlfriend, my live-in, been together for 3 years. We're talking about marriage next summer, girlfriend had an active Tinder profile. And she was sitting less than 2 feet away from me. The sound from the TV blurred into white noise. My hands went cold, but my face felt like it was burning. I kept staring at that picture, the little green active recently icon glowing like a neon sign in my brain. She had no idea. She was laughing at something on the screen, tossing a piece of popcorn in her mouth like the world was fine, like we were fine. And in that moment, I realized nothing was fine. What I did next wasn't planned. It wasn't strategic. It was pure instinct, and it would change everything about the way I saw her. The way I saw us. If you had asked me a week before that night how my relationship was going, I would have told you it was solid. Not perfect. Nothing ever is but solid. We'd been together for 3 years, living in this small but cozy apartment with mismatched furniture we'd collected from thrift stores and family hand-me-downs. Every morning started with her coffee ritual, 2 sugars, a splash of oat milk while I made us scrambled eggs or toast. On weekends, we'd wander around the farmer's market, holding hands, pretending we were one of those effortlessly happy couples you see in rom-coms. Our friends would always say things like, "You two are couple goals." Her mom called me the one. My parents loved her. It felt like we had this unspoken agreement about the future marriage, maybe kids, a house with a garden someday. We even had a shared Google Doc called our wedding ideas, full of pictures of dresses, playlists, and honeymoon destinations. Sure, there had been little things lately. She'd started spending more time on her phone, especially at night. Sometimes she'd angle the screen away from me or take her calls in the other room. But I told myself it was work or just needing space. I wasn't the jealous type, at least. I didn't think I was. There were moments I noticed she was elsewhere. We'd be at dinner and I'd see her eyes flick down to her phone, smile at something, then quickly lock the screen. I'd joke about her having a secret TikTok life, and she'd laugh, leaning over to kiss me, as if that small act could erase the question in my head. I ignored the signs because, honestly, I was happy, or at least I believed I was. And believing something hard enough can sometimes make it feel true until the truth kicks the door down and stands right in front of you. That night on the couch didn't come out of nowhere. The cracks had been there, hairline thin, hiding under the surface. I just didn't want to see them. And then, with one accidental glance at my phone, every little crack split wide open. When I first saw that screenshot, I told myself there had to be some kind of explanation. Maybe it was an old profile she forgot to delete. Maybe someone had stolen her pictures. My brain clung to every possibility except the obvious one, because the obvious one hurt too much to consider. But then I saw the green dot. On Tinder, that means active recently, not last year, not last month, recently. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. She was sitting right next to me, leaning into her blanket, completely relaxed. And I was holding proof that the woman I loved had been looking for, what? Validation, attention, something or someone else. I didn't say anything at first. Instead, I tried to play it cool. My thumb hovered over the screenshot, and I zoomed in. There was no mistaking it. Same photo I'd taken of her just 3 weeks ago on our weekend trip to the coast. Same blue sweater, same tilt of her head. My friend's message came through a second later. Isn't this your girlfriend? My stomach twisted. I could barely breathe. I opened Tinder on my own phone, an app I hadn't touched since we got serious, and started swiping through my area. It took less than 2 minutes to find her profile. The bio read, "Just looking to meet new people, drama-free, good vibes only." Good vibes only. I almost laughed out loud at the absurdity of it. I checked her activity active 3 minutes ago, which meant she was either scrolling Tinder while sitting next to me, or she'd just closed it before opening Netflix. Right then, her phone buzzed. A small, distinct notification sound that I didn't recognize. She glanced down, smiled faintly, and turned her phone face down on the coffee table. Something in me snapped. "Who was that?" I asked, keeping my tone light, almost teasing. She shrugged. "Just a friend." "What friend?" She gave me a look, the kind that says, "Why are you being weird?" and turned her eyes back to the TV. My fingers tightened around my phone. The truth was burning a hole in my pocket. But I couldn't just blurt it out, not yet. I wanted to see if she'd give herself away. So I played along. I asked about the documentary, laughed at the right parts, even offered her a blanket, but inside, every second felt like I was sitting next to a stranger. The final straw came 15 minutes later. Another buzz, another quick glance, and this time, she actually picked up the phone, read something, and blushed. I leaned back, staring at her. "Is there anything you want to tell me?" I asked. She blinked, pretending not to understand. "What do you mean?" I held up my phone, the screenshot filling the screen, her face drained of color. And in that moment, I knew whatever explanation was coming, it wasn't going to make this hurt any less. She froze when she saw the screenshot. Her mouth opened slightly, like she wanted to say something banal. But no words came out. For a few seconds, the only sound in the room was the low hum of the TV. Finally, she let out a sharp breath. "It's not what you think." That line, that awful cliché line, I almost laughed. Really? Because what I think is that my girlfriend who I live with is on Tinder. And not just on it, active, as in, right now. She looked away, pulling the blanket tighter around her shoulders. I was curious. Okay, I wasn't looking to meet anyone. I just wanted to see what's out there. "What's out there?" I repeated, my voice rising despite myself. "We've been together for 3 years. We've talked about marriage. And you're scrolling through guys on Tinder like it's a game." Her eyes darted to me, defensive now. "You're overreacting. It's harmless. I didn't meet up with anyone. I didn't cheat." The word cheat hit me like a slap. You didn't physically cheat, but you don't think this is betrayal. Do you have any idea how humiliating this is? My friend sent me this profile. She flinched. "Wait, who else knows?" "That's what you care about," I shot back. The conversation spiraled, fast accusations, deflections, raised voices. She swore it was just a stupid thing she'd been doing for a couple of weeks. I told her that's not how trust works. Then I made a mistake. I asked to see her phone. Her entire body went rigid. "Why?" she said, her voice sharp now. "Because if you're telling the truth, there's nothing to hide." She hesitated, clutching the phone like it was her lifeline. Finally, with a muttered "fine," she handed it over. I opened Tinder. Her inbox was empty. Too empty. And that's when it hit me. You deleted them. Her silence was answer enough. I scrolled through her texts. Several recent threads had been wiped clean. I didn't need a forensic expert to know this wasn't just idle curiosity. This had been going on for longer than she'd admitted, and she'd been careful about covering her tracks. "Who were you talking to?" I asked, my voice low now, almost shaking. Her eyes filled with tears, but she still wouldn't look at me. "It doesn't matter. I didn't meet them. It was just talking. I needed to feel wanted." That last sentence gutted me, because I realized, in her mind, I hadn't been enough. The argument ended when I stood up, walked to the bedroom, and began packing a bag. She followed me, crying, saying she didn't want to lose me, but every word out of her mouth sounded like it was meant to protect herself, not fix what she'd broken. As I zipped up my duffel, I knew this wasn't just about Tinder. It was about trust. And once it's gone, you can't swipe right and get it back. I walked out of that apartment into the cold night air, not knowing exactly where I was going, only that I couldn't stay. The first few nights after I left were brutal. I slept on my friend's couch, staring at the ceiling until sunrise, replaying every moment of the last 3 years like a movie I didn't want to watch, but couldn't turn off. Every laugh, every kiss, every plan we'd made, it all felt counterfeit now, like a story I'd told myself to feel safe. But as the days passed, something unexpected happened. I started breathing easier. I reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in months because I'd been too wrapped up in us. I picked up hobbies I'd abandoned, running at sunrise, cooking without rushing, even reading before bed instead of scrolling endlessly. Little by little, I stopped checking her social media. I stopped wondering if she'd reached out to someone new. I stopped making her choices a measure of my worth. One night, about a month later, I sat alone at a coffee shop, writing in a notebook. I realized it was the first time in years that I felt completely at peace with myself. Not happy all the time, peaceful. There's a difference. That's when it hit me. Catching her on Tinder was the worst moment of my life, and also one of the best. It forced me to confront a truth I'd been avoiding, that love without trust isn't love. It's just a performance you put on until the curtain falls. Now, I know I deserve more than someone who needs to see what's out there. I deserve someone who chooses me every day without wondering if the grass is greener somewhere else. And so do you. If you've ever been in my position, I want you to remember this. Losing someone who doesn't value you is not really a loss, it's making space for someone who will. So here's my question to you. If you found your partner on a dating app today, would you stay and try to fix it? Or would you walk away to protect your self-respect?